An essential aspect of autocross is finding the limit. Your goal is to determine how fast your car can go through every element in every section of the course. As the 2019 season points battle rages on, I've had to fight really hard to keep my chances of winning a championship alive. This video showcases two events with two very different courses. But each course features a section where it's easy to see the benefit of pushing your car to the limit. On the first course, it was the limit of traction. On the second course, it was the rev limiter. Apparently, I also pushed my camera mount to the limit. I apologize for the rough footage in these clips. The first course is in a small mall parking lot, but because of a great course design, there's a lot of speed to be found, especially if I'm willing to push my 2000 GT right up to the point of losing traction. The toughest element on this course is the first loop. Unfortunately, even with my 315 tires, I didn't have a ton of grip on this surface. It's hot and greasy, there are elevation changes and camber changes, and as you come around the loop for the second time, it's easy to go sideways, drift, or spin. Here's my first run. .307. It was super slick out there. I thought getting some heat in the tires would help make more grip for my remaining runs, but it didn't. I dropped down to my usual 26 psi for my next two runs, and got slower. By now, my competition was posting times in the 36s. I knew I wasn't going to find any more grip, and I knew I was losing time in the loop. With 2 runs left, I only had one option: push harder in the loop and try to keep the car right at the limit of traction all the way around. Here's my fastest run. .679. The mix of throttle steering and feathering the gas pedal made it feel like I was drifting around the loop, but I didn't go sideways or spin. The whole run felt like the car was about to go out from under me, and that's okay, because that feeling meant I had the car right where it needed to be. I definitely could have tightened up my line in a few places, but given the lack of grip, I was happy I could push the car to the limit of traction and improve my time. But did I push past my competition? Second place, just over 3/10 behind the 2018 Cam Class champion. Not the day I wanted, but a good points day overall. The second event is on a wide open course on an airplane runway. It features a section that's super fast if you're looking ahead, and if you're brave enough to go into it really hard. I'm in my 2004 V6 at this event, so I've got a lot less power than my competition. I'll need every bit of it to conquer this course. I set my tires to 29 psi for run 1 and gave my little pony the spurs. .238. The run felt fast, but I was definitely leaving time out there. And with only 220 horsepower, I knew finding time was all about hitting my brakes less and using the throttle more. Watching my video between runs, I realized I could probably top out second gear in the section after the backside slalom, the sweeping left that leads into the short slalom past the shed. This is the section I'm referring to. But in my 2004 V6, I hit the rev limiter at around 63 miles per hour. So that means I'd be entering this element at a pretty good clip. But I trust my brakes and I trust my gut, so hitting the rev limiter was now my gauge for how well I was getting through that section. Here's my fastest run. You can clearly hear the rev limiter. .867. I got almost 4/10 faster by attacking that section and pushing the car to the rev limiter. But did getting the car to the red line get me to the finish line ahead of the other cars in cam? Another second place. I beat a few cars with a lot more power than mine, but I was 1.6 seconds behind the national champion in the Grand Sport Corvette. I'm not one to make excuses. I should have been faster out there. But to be that close to a car that has literally twice as much horsepower as mine on a course that rewarded power was a decent day in my book. These two events highlight the importance of always looking for places on course to push your car to the limit. Being able to attack an entire element right at the edge of traction, or using the rev limiter as your goal for the speed at which you enter or exit an element, can chop chunks of time off your runs.